With a promotion accused and more, this is Pro Wrestling Central. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report. After AEW Full Gear, AEW President Tony Khan explained why the pay-per-views are consistently long, saying this during the media scrum. Our contracted time for the show has always been close to 4 hours. If you look back, every AEW pay-per-view has gone over 3.5 hours. There's never been one under that, because we're required to run shows that go about 3 hours and 45 minutes. If we don't, I'd have people to answer to. Thankfully, we didn't end up in a Chi-Town Rumble situation where they had to send out enhancement talent to wrestle for 15 minutes after Ric Flair and Ricky Steamboat because they didn't meet their contract time. During that same media scrum, Khan revealed that Kyle O'Reilly will be out of action. After the actions of Jon Moxley and the hard-hitting match they had, Kyle O'Reilly will now be out of action. It's unfortunate because he really wanted to compete in the Continental Classic. Kyle is probably not going to be cleared and will have to deal with injuries coming out of what was a great no-holds-barred match, and arguably the biggest win of his career. Once again, Becky Lynch has called out Raw General Manager Adam Pearce, writing on Instagram, "Parasite Pearce. When you don't answer my calls, I have no choice but to take actions into my own hands. It's so sad to have the worst and most corrupt GM in the history of the WWE in charge of Monday Night Raw. Terrible leader. Luckily, Nick Aldis, who's more jacked by the way, was kind enough to comp me tickets. The look on AJ Lackluster Lee's face as she ate my elbows and fists was worth the trip to a dump of a city like Denver." Announcing matches for Raw tomorrow night, Adam Pearce said this in a video.
Less than a week from Survivor Series, and Monday Night Raw is live tomorrow night in OKC, Oklahoma City, and the OTC. Roman Reigns will kick off the broadcast. Don't forget, 2 members of his squad will oppose the Vision in the War Games Advantage match, and the Last Time Is Now tournament continues as Carmelo Hayes will battle Daryl Ring General Gunther, and Penta goes one-on-one with Solo Sikoa. Less than a week from Survivor Series in San Diego, and one of San Diego's self-proclaimed finest, Dominic Mysterio, will have plenty to say about his opponent, John Cena. And, of course, after what she did on Friday, I cannot wait to hear what Becky Lynch will crow about, and she will do so in person. Either that, or she'll leave me another 39 voicemails. Becky, it's a bit much. Anyway, it's Monday Night Raw live from OKC tomorrow night, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, live around the world on Netflix. And you know it is official. Happy Sunday. And go Pack Go.
During his interview with Ariel Helwani, AEW President Tony Khan was asked about former WCW President Eric Bischoff being critical of AEW, to which he said, "I do respect his opinions. I think he talks about AEW a lot because AEW is on every Wednesday night, every Saturday night, and it gives them good content to talk about. In his case, I think it's interesting because he spends a lot of time talking about AEW, but I think he's also cognizant that there were a lot of media personalities and former wrestling promoters who had strong vocal opinions of him, and I'm not trying to say that I've done more than him." Bischoff responded on his 83 Weeks podcast. "I don't know what to think. He didn't really answer. He didn't really talk about my critique other than saying I talk about AEW a lot. Let me make something really clear. I don't like talking about AEW. I had a conversation with you 6 months ago or so where I said I just don't want to talk about it anymore. There's nothing new to talk about, so if I get asked a question question in the course of doing my show, I'm going to give an answer. I'm not going to respond with, oh, I don't want to talk about that. It's not what I do. It's not what the show is about. But at the same time, I don't spend much time talking about AEW, and I try not to think about it unless I'm asked a question. My criticism toward Tony Khan and AEW has been, granted, it's probably been a little salty, probably drew blood once or twice, but my criticism is based in fact. It's based in experience. It's based on what's going on today. I've been talking about the lack of story, good story, actual story, the lack of it in AEW for 5.5 years. And I've also predicted what the outcome of AEW would be from a ratings perspective and an audience perspective if these things are not addressed. It was nice of him to say nice things about me. I wish Tony would listen to criticism, whether it's from me or Jim Cornette, who I think is probably smarter than me in many respects. I'm not against it. I just don't know what the purpose would be. But you know me. Sit me down with a glass of wine and a steak and I'll talk to anybody. Tony Khan also claimed in his interview with Ariel Helwani that he did not know the viewing numbers for HBO Max where AEW is streamed. Bischoff also commented on this, saying on his podcast, "How do you negotiate a better deal for your streaming if you don't know your current streaming numbers? There is no data point that can point to that I'm aware of that would indicate potential growth. Ticket sales, that math doesn't math. Ratings, despite all the stuff Tony goes out and says, which I don't know why he says it, because people in the ad sales industry and television industry know that he's full of they know it's a lie. It's hard to have credibility when you're sitting in a room with people who know better. It's all because they haven't been growing in any category other than the illusion they create in their mind." Reflecting on his behavior leading up to his release from WWE, Velveteen Dream told the Pope's point of view, "I was making $4,000 a week before I got released. I had crashed 2 cars when I was down there, okay? I had developed a very unhealthy desire for partying, staying up late, and illegal substances. So I implore you, the viewer, to take a second and think, what would you have done as a 19-year-old with disposable income, no responsibility, and the world at your fingertips, and the people that you admire telling you that you don't stink? Not fair to judge." With Disco Inferno commenting on Devon Dudley claiming that Jim Ross was racist, Disco had asked why anyone should criticize Ross for something that happened 20 years ago and said he did not want to pile on him. Devon has now responded to this on Duke Loves Wrestling. "No one asked you to bury anybody. Nobody asked you to pile up on anybody. So that's number one. Number two, I didn't know there was a statute of limitations on being a damn racist. When you tell somebody, I don't like you because of the color of your skin, I don't care if you said it 20 minutes ago or 20 years ago. It's still wrong, and you're a damn coward if you don't have the balls to just say, hey, that's wrong. That shouldn't have happened. It's unfortunate, and hopefully things have changed. I know Disco, and we've never had any problems. The bottom line is this. Think of how all of this started months ago. I said something about this, and I never said any names. People were getting on me because I didn't say any names. It wasn't like I woke up one day and said, let me bury JR. That's not how it worked. This was something that bothered me for a long time. Every time I saw the man, I felt a certain way, and I didn't want to feel that way anymore. When it came out on my show, I was glad it was out, because now I don't have to sit here and act a certain way anymore. People ask, why didn't you say it 20 years ago? Did you not understand what I said? I was in a position where I didn't feel like I could say anything. People don't understand that, so they can say whatever they want. What I do know is this. If Disco is trying to bury us for saying this, then Disco, you're wrong. I'm just going to say that. I'm not going to get into a shouting match or go back and forth and give the dirt sheet something to talk about. That's my belief. You're not African American, so you don't know how it feels, whether it was 20, 30, or 50 years ago. People are still getting apologies today from racist people from the 50s and 60s because it still hurts. People are still getting apologies today. Say what you want, but I know how it felt all those years. If anyone ever wanted to have a conversation or a phone call, I would have one. I'd talk about it. I'm not opposed to it. But again, you said things that weren't right back then. Whether it was because you had power or not, you said it and it was wrong. After AEW unveiled a new championship at Full Gear over the weekend, accusations have been leveled against the company, with Ringside News writing AEW's Full Gear 2025 pay-per-view crowned the first ever national champion, but now it appears the company has allegedly ripped off the design in a blatant way. Ringside News was told AEW had blatantly ripped off the NWA World Television title design for their AEW National Championship. It was noted that the color, insignia, and overall design of the national title was practically a photocopy of the legendary NWA World Television title. It was specifically noted, "It's BS, they ripped the design off." While Tony Khan claimed he was trying to honor the NWA's legacy with the national championship, that doesn't seem to be the case with his actions. After all, AEW was already accused of hijacking the NWA's legacy when they introduced the title, and them essentially stealing the design is clearly not something fans are happy about. The AEW Full Gear pay-per-view saw Ricochet outlast the likes of Bobby Lashley, Shelton Benjamin, and more in the Casino Gauntlet match, and ultimately became the inaugural national champion. AEW's new national championship design has really split fan opinions. If AEW is trying to honor the NWA, they might need to explain that more clearly or change future belt designs so they don't get so much negative reaction. And this was your pro wrestling news update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all later.